I'm happy with it, man.
Dude, it's actually extremely crazy because I was like super deep into this work project that I was working on. I kind of
Mhm.
like started working on it late, and I just was in a rabbit hole. I had no idea. And then I just see in the Discord, I think it was Andy wrote fleece, and I'm like, what are they talking about? And I saw it, and I was like, what is happening? So I haven't even really like digested this yet.
Yeah,
Um, but
two picks.
listen, listen, I get it. I think compensation wise, it's a good move, but I don't like the move overall. Just like Jeremy says, I hope this doesn't bite us in the ass. That's kind of where I am. Like, I get it. We're super deep. I'm confident that Troy Franklin and Pat Bryant are going to do very well. But it's just tough to get rid of like really good players that are cheap. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I didn't really catch the first part. Like, where are you at? How do you feel about it overall? Like, what would
So,
you grade it?
man, I give this trade an A, man, because we traded a 27-year-old guy who was drafted last year in the 7th round, and we got 2 picks for him, one being a 4th rounder. So I
Oh,
think
okay.
it's a
So we
win.
got a seventh as well. I thought I read that we gave a seventh.
Oh, let me refresh. These are the terms here that Zach Stevens has.
Yeah, like
So
I said, for me it was like I saw it, I like flipped out, helped my wife with something real quick, came down here. So I haven't
yeah,
even really looked into it.
let me go through here. Yep, we get the 2 picks. Denver Broncos just tweeted it out as well. We've agreed to trade terms with the New Orleans Saints.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I think, man, this is a huge win. I think it's a win for Vele because, again, like I just didn't expect him to play much. I thought that he was a bit redundant on this team. Oh man, I lost my spot here. Um, I'll get this back up. But I think Jeremy brought this up in the Discord that they must be really high on Joaquin Davis. And I think that he would probably take that sixth spot right now. Again, remember, he's a 6'4 guy, 43-inch vertical, 4'4 speed. He's just raw, but he can certainly add value on special teams if we need him to do that. And again, I I didn't really see him playing that much unless it's due to injury. So I think that uh, that's the risk you take, right? If we have some injury, Devaughn Vele is much more ready to step into that role as opposed to maybe somebody like Joaquin Davis. But we also got Trent Sherfield, who I feel like is just as fine. Like Pat Bryant, I think we're just scratching the surface with him, obviously. And yeah, maybe if you only had young guys behind Vele, you keep him. But with Trent Sherfield and how he's played, I don't necessarily feel like we're taking much of a risk, especially when you get this kind of offer for him. Uh, yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's insane, man. It's an insane trade. I'm kind of disappointed in you though. So you think this is for Joaquin Davis and not A.T. Perry, man?
dude, I know. I wanted
You don't
A.T.
think it's
Perry
for
I wanted him to be the thing, man. But
maybe they just know he's good. They're like he's injured, but like he's a fill in too. I mean, I listen. I think it's interesting. It could also mean that they don't want to keep six receivers on the active because it usually means that there's always going to be at least one guy that doesn't suit up. So they could always just put like three or four on the practice squad. But I'm still kind of processing everything. I can't believe this kind of work that we did, and the poor Saints, the poor Saints out there just giving out draft picks and stuff like that,
you
like
know,
things
I
that
was
they need. But
listening. Shout out to Eli. I was listening to some Jets podcasts last night. Hilarious, by the way. I love Jets podcasts. And they were talking about we don't need to worry about this offense at all, man. We got Josh Reynolds. That's what they're saying. We got Josh Reynolds. But then there are other people that were sharing their concern about him, which I understand. And we have brought this up. Devaughn Vele, he could have been a guy that the Jets could have brought in, but I wonder if there was a little bit of a bidding war for his services because he should be a plug and play, dependable wide receiver. Like
yeah,
I think he's, man, this probably sounds bad, but it's like on like a below average offense, he's definitely a starting wide receiver. And you're going to have to pay up for something like that. Like
no
that
doubt.
is an asset of value.
Yep. Yep. No, that's crazy. And I guess now, I mean, the Broncos now have 5 picks in the first 4 rounds of next year's draft. Um, pretty damn good,
Dude, I can't
like
believe
I
we
said,
got two
I
picks
think the
for him.
compensation is ridiculously good. Yeah, I mean, it's grade A compensation. It's just when you start to transition going from okay, we're a team that's kind of on the cusp of making the playoffs and now having Super Bowl aspirations from a lot of people in Broncos country. At least that window opening, it's like you just hope that it doesn't come to the point where like, oh man, you wish you had him, right?
Yeah.
But again, we had that conversation I think earlier on one of the horsepower hours where it was like, do you think trading Tim Patrick like is something that the Broncos regret? And I think early in the season last year it was like, yeah. But then again, it turned into like no, because it allowed for a lot of these guys like Vele and like Franklin to start to catch their stride. So it's like it's one of those things now too, where like maybe we feel the effects of it at some point, but it could also just open up a ton of opportunities for Franklin to shine and for Pat Bryant to develop throughout his rookie year and really be able to shine too. So that's what I'm hoping for
Yeah.
more than
Yeah.
anything.
I still hope we keep six wide receivers on the roster. And again, like I was surprised to see the amount of outrage on Horsepower Hour afterwards. There are a lot of people that got upset with me for saying that I felt like he was a little redundant. But I think that when I came out with my depth chart prediction yesterday, a 53-man roster, I said, I just don't think they cut him out right, probably.
Mhm.
Granted, outside shot at a trade. But now I think, again, it opens up. I would still like to keep six guys. If you had to choose between Joaquin Davis, Courtney Jackson, Jerwan Newton, Michael Bandy, and Rowan, A.T. Perry, he's just lore right now. We still have to. It's just part of the fun.
Mhm.
Who would you pick to be that sixth guy on the roster?
Not choosing like not having A.T. Perry on there.
You can have A.T. Perry on there.
Because the reason I would choose A.T. Perry is because for me, I feel like the other guys have a much higher chance of not getting claimed and we could take them on the practice squad versus somebody like an A.T. Perry. I mean, maybe teams are really high on him still, dude. And because they know he's injured, they might just want to wait it out. I mean, you don't know because he's still young, but he's still showing a lot of flashes. And those good reports at him last year. So I'd say probably him because you could sneak the other guys in. But if you're talking about like the other UDFA guys, it's pretty interesting because Courtney Jackson showed a little bit of juice,
Yes. Tremendous
on
speed.
the tremendously. And I think he would be the one that the coaching staff would choose because he can give you a lot of special teams help. Like he's not just the backup punt returner, but he could be the kick returner alongside of Mims.
Mhm.
But I like the idea of Joaquin Davis personally because he does have all the tools, and the tools is kind of what you want to hear about too. So
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
probably go with Joaquin.
You got to pay attention to what these guys that are actually connected to the team are like throwing out as like ideas or how they're thinking about things, because likely they're having conversations with people connected to the team that are thinking similar ways. And Mace, I don't know if you caught his live stream on his channel last night, but he was talking about how Courtney Jackson could have a role on this team, specifically as returner, if the Broncos are wanting to involve him more on the offense and take a little bit off his plate there. How would you feel about that?
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know enough about Courtney Jackson in a sense of like feeling because I saw some bad too with him.
Yeah, like the fumble.
Well, the fumble, and then I saw, and then when he fumbled, I don't remember a fumble.
I think he fumbled on a punt week 1 against the Niners.
Oh, did he? Yeah, no, I felt like there was a couple things where like God, what was it? It was even like as a receiver, I think he had a couple different drops. He didn't look all that good. I mean, he's still like I say, he's still a really obviously young player. The only time I really saw the juice is in the last game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, my mind's just kind of everywhere. So my bad as I try to kind of process
Oh,
everything.
dude, you're good, man.
I was also looking at it was really funny because you said it it's official Vele's on the bubble at 10:47 a.m. That's what I was looking for. After you saw the Benjamin Albright tweet. It's actually like freaking clockwork, dude. And then the same day that evening, he ends up getting
I need to pull that up on the Discord, guys.
yeah, no,
Join the
yeah, please
Discord
do.
for the season. Come on now, guys.
And it was funny too because I get what Albright was saying. Like,
Yeah.
he's not in danger of getting cut, But when a trade like this comes to fruition,
Yeah,
we'll
it's
end up
just
seeing.
a bit now. I like Ben Albright, but it's funny, man. He has these uh things with timing where he'll tweet something out and then the next day or whatever happens and it's the exact opposite of what
It's
he's
almost
saying.
it's almost like at this point he does it on purpose, right?
Oh,
In a
you think
way,
it's like a
because it's
bit?
like, how do you
Yeah.
time? Like, it's not just about being incorrect. How do you time being incorrect so close to when like the actual event that you're talking about happens? It's kind of weird.
Yeah, man. I think it's so funny. But yeah, now like when Ben Albright like comes out on saying something like definitive like that, like my ears always perk up, man,
Yeah,
because these things always happen, man.
yeah, totally,
When he's tweeting it out,
totally,
man.
totally.
So Jeremy is saying, and some other people are also saying they like Joaquin Davis. I think that would probably be the most exciting because I think trading Vele, I think signals a couple things. One, they're very, very confident in the growth that they've seen from Marvin Mims and Troy Franklin going into this season. Um, and so, yeah, maybe he's really going to have a better role or a bigger role in the offense and you could bring Courtney Jackson in. Like that makes sense. But personally, even if Mims is going to have a larger role in the offense, I would still like him taking part on returns.
Mm-hmm. Bless
Ooh,
you.
thank
Yeah,
you.
no. I mean, I think so. I think another thing too that makes this whole thing like, because I know when we are on horsepower hour, me and Jeremy kind of went back and forth on this a little bit. I think it's what's important about realizing like the position that George Payton's in specifically is like us fans were always like it's all about the this year, right? I hope it doesn't bite us in the ass this year. I hope that we could utilize him this season, and I get that. I'm all for it. But GMs always have to think ahead. They have to think in the future and in the present and in the future. And I feel like with this, I don't think George Payton and Sean Payton were like, yeah, let's actively shop Vele. It was one of those where like they got these offers, they realized that there might be some things there, and they're like, it's just too good to pass up. We might have to, maybe it bites us in the ass a little bit in the short term, but in the long term, it's just wait. Like imagine we go through the season and Devaughn Vele is just like, he contributes, he's fine. And then you could have gotten a 4th-round pick for him. Like next year, you're gonna be like, shit, we should have done it. So it's one of those where, eventually I think it's gonna age really well. And it was just way too good a value. I mean, a 4th and a 7th. Like I said, I thought we were giving up a Devaughn and a 7th in exchange for a 4th, which even that I was like phenomenal. But the fact that we're getting both it's just too good to pass up, man. It's too
Dude,
good to pass
I
up.
can't wait to see us draft another power forward, man.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. Now, this is something else that I'm thinking about. I'm trying to put the pieces together. So it might have been 2 weeks ago or so. Again, Andrew Mason has been reporting on the Broncos for how long? Like over 20 years,
Mhm.
coming on that or around that. And he came out and teased the idea with Cecil, a couple weeks ago of you might want to trade. You might look into trading Devaughn Vele. Like I think he was the first one, at least with the guys that I listened to, that he
Mhm.
brought it up. And we should have looked into this deeper. The fact that he didn't play at all this past weekend. I would imagine that this is something that teams have called on. There might have been some discussions going throughout all of training camp with
Totally.
it.
Totally. I mean, and I know like I said, we talked about it, and I know he was battling the injury, and he had a really good joint practice. So it was easy to look at those two things and be like, oh, he didn't play because there was really no purpose of him playing. Like maybe he gets re-injured. They're trying to, maybe limit the snaps because Sean Payton's really good with that. And also, man, it's so rare that a draft like a guy that a team is drafted just a year ago gets traded in his second year. Like even if he's 7th round, he was really and by all accounts, like he's a really great teammate. He doesn't have any off the field issues, so it's just rare to speculate about it. And also, it's one of those things, man. Like it takes two to tango. It's easy to have the speculation of like, yeah, trading Devaughn Vele would make sense, but you have to have a team that's willing to like trade what would make sense for it. So everything just fell in line. But I mean, you're right. Like now, when you look back on it, hindsight's 2020. You're like, it was kind of obvious, right? But I don't know. At the time, it's almost like, was it though?
Yeah,
It's
it doesn't happen, but now, Mark, might I say, we got some extra draft capital to go and trade for a Brees Hall. Somebody like that. I mean, wouldn't that be fun? I know we already got some running backs we're excited about, but why not imagine?
There's Travis Etienne is still available. He could be a mid-season type of guy that becomes available depending on where we're sitting at.
Yeah, let me
what
pull
else?
up our draft picks that we got next year.
Yeah, and while you do that too, I think it's been crazy. Like, there's a lot of different guys traded. And it seems like it's kind of happening a lot. And maybe they're eyeing somebody else. And they stocked up on a draft pick. Doesn't mean that they have to flip this fourth again, but maybe there's other guys that they're interested in making trades for that now they have the capital to do it.
Yeah.
And because you got Vele off, it's like a 1-for-1 type of a flip. I thought that the signing of that random defensive lineman, I made a video on him earlier. I still don't even remember his name that we signed.
Oh,
was a little.
Yeah, I forgot.
Imonforu or something. Yeah. It was. I can probably look it up. I was looking at it earlier. But what's interesting about that one is it's like, okay, this guy's obviously not going to make the team, but you add it on the defensive line, randomly. It's almost like, maybe this plays into like they're not happy with the depth, or they're wanting to get like a bigger 320-pound guy that they can have. Like, maybe they're not happy with the Wazirike like we think that they are, because I'm just trying to read through tea leaves now that all these crazy things are happening. So, or it could be a different position, but maybe there's other guys on the trade block around the NFL that the Broncos are super interested in looking into, and we get involved. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're not done.
Yeah, I would love for us to still maneuver a little bit with these picks, but getting this second, fourth round pick, it does bring us to 7 total picks in 2026, which is awesome. I don't know what we got in 27 because Kodiak's here, because it only shows this next year on Spot Track, but I like it. Kodiak, what's up, man?
Dude, I literally just found out about this a minute ago, so
You look like you were napping. Were you napping?
Yeah, I was napping.
Yeah. You got nappy eyes.
My phone was going crazy, and I was just like, what happened? What? And then I was like, oh, shit. And then I saw we moved to Vele to the Saints. Initial reactions, I get it. Like, I get it. And honestly, for the value of Devaughn Vele, I do think it is a technical value win. But once again, I'm not, like, this is one of those guys where I'm not super happy to see him moved. I don't think anybody is, but I get it. Sports is a business-oriented industry, so yeah.
Yeah, do you like the fact that, are you shocked that we got 2 picks?
I don't really care about the 2027 7th rounder. I do like the 2026 4th. Like, I do think, especially because, Zach Seeger said today that the alternative was basically, I was literally sleeping on Vele, but no, the alternative to basically having Vele be the 6th guy in the room was deactivating him on game day. So you wanted to do right by the player, so I get it. And yeah, overall, it's probably going to be an early 4th round pick, like Andy's saying right there. So yeah.
You think Vele still takes a team playing to New Orleans?
Oh,
they're like, guys, let me just go with you. Damn. Instead of having to have their own arrangements, he's just like, can I hop on the plane? No, I'm just joking. But yeah, they couldn't wait until like Friday night, and they're like, hey, dude, just you're gonna be there, or announce it like during the game while they're playing.
I don't know.
That'd be pretty funny. He just goes to the other sideline.
All right, so Kodiak, we were talking about this earlier, but I'm curious. Do the Broncos just carry 5 wide receivers now? Do you think they still carry 6? If so, who is that going to be?
So I don't think Courtney Jackson is like anything particularly special based on what we've seen, but the fact that he's gotten a lot of opportunity, the fact that he's played a lot on special teams, and I think they're comfortable with him as a returner, I think that this bodes well for him making the 53-man roster. I'm curious to see what everybody else is saying, because I literally do not know what anyone else is saying other than,
I think it's pretty split with Davis and Courtney Jackson.
Yeah, and like if we were to keep one, I would want it to be the high upside guy. Like when you're in the bottom of the roster, shoot for the stars there with Davis, 6'3", 4.36 speed. So I'd go with Davis, but I get why this coaching staff is seemingly high on Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Or, yeah.
Yeah, no, Desert Rain's coming in here saying, I don't like this at all. Losing talent is never positive, especially given how small his salary is. And again, I can understand that. And Mark brought up a point. Maybe you can summarize that again about how they're not necessarily looking at just this year when it comes
Yeah.
to whether to move Devaughn Vele or not.
Yeah, I was just saying, I think a lot of the times us fans, we lose sight as to like how a GM of a team looks at everything, right? They're always taking a holistic view in a sense of forward thinking, right? You got to think a year, 2, 3 years out, not always in the short term. And this is one of those where I feel like the long-term benefits outweighed the potential short-term hiccups. So that's really what I feel like that they're looking at it like. I get it. I'm right there with you. Like, I don't like to just give away talent. I felt like he was the ultimate insurance policy for the wide receiver room. But I mean, I believe enough in what Franklin's shown, and how I love Pat Bryant. So I love it now because those guys can actually get snaps. They can actually get playing time, and we can figure everything else out later. And that 4th round pick, you never know what the hell it's gonna yield. Whether it's in a trade, whether it's in the actual draft, or in a trade up. There's a lot of different scenarios there. So I think it was just one of those where did they want to trade him initially? Like, I don't think they were like, we have to, but it was just way too good of a value. It made way too much sense. And
This
you're
seems
probably
like
never going to get a 4th round pick value from Devaughn Vele again. I mean, unless he absolutely balled out, like his value was not necessarily going to increase because eventually you got to pay him, right? And teams know that, so it's going to lower the draft pick value.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like a deal that you can't refuse.
Yeah.
475 yards last year. I mean, that's respectable, but it's not anything eye-popping.
No,
And
but I do want to note, like, remember last year how sorry our wide receiver room was at the beginning of the year? I felt like Devaughn Vele was a big part of turning that around, especially midway through the season. Now I understand that, we had breakouts from guys like Mims or whatever, and we also had just better play overall across the board. But Vele did bring some stability to this room, especially last year when our skill position weapons were very, very murky for a lot of the year. A lot of chemistry still not to be had with our young quarterback, at least early on. But yeah, overall, so I do want to give Vele his flowers. But yeah, you're right. It wasn't anything like super irreplaceable. But yeah, overall, that's how I feel.
I know earlier we were talking, Mark and Kodiak. I want to hear your thoughts on this too. So when this comes to the greater 53, I had this take yesterday in my 53 prediction video. It's probably a little absurd, which it's fun. But I brought up the idea of maybe just keeping both Jordan Jackson and Awazarike on the roster, because I think if either of those guys gets cut, probably more so Jordan Jackson. It seems like people would think that Awazarike takes his spot if there's only one between the two of them. But if you cut Jordan Jackson, he's a guy that's automatically getting claimed. Like, he is an NFL rotational defensive lineman. What do you think about the idea of just keeping both of them at this point?
Well, I don't hate it, like, honestly, because I don't know how many wide receivers we can keep. Honestly, I don't see a need to keep Davis and or Jackson, like, to be completely honest. Like, I don't think either of those guys have shown, like, can't miss, like, need to hang on to potential. But, I don't hate it. That's definitely a discussion. That's something that I'm sure the Broncos factored in, especially this time of year when they're just like, all right, what is the opportunity cost of moving on from Vele, keeping Vele? So, yeah. I don't know. That's really interesting. And you know what? I wouldn't hate it. I think with the injury to Gargiulo, I don't think we're going to carry 9 offensive linemen anymore. And yeah, overall, I mean, especially on early downs, I feel like D-line depth is something that could be really, really nice for this team to have, because it's usually a common denominator when you look at the best teams in the NFL, the ones that go on deep runs, you want stout D-line depth. So yeah.
Yeah. And corner depth too. And we can draft another corner or defensive lineman with that 4th round pick we got next year in the draft, or maybe like a Bucky Irving, right?
And guys, I mean, I guess now that we got our tinfoil hats on, because it's like, oh, all these things are happening. You know who didn't practice today, and they didn't say any reason why?
Audric?
Jaleel McLaughlin.
Oh shit!
They said he didn't practice. I didn't hear anything about injury. Maybe they did. I didn't listen to the post-game pressers or anything.
So I did.
But it's like,
I did.
Is he someone they're shopping?
He might be, but I did see Parker Gabriel say that around 2.5 weeks ago, Jaleel McLaughlin did say that him and his wife were expecting a child like 2-3 weeks out.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Okay, yeah.
You're right. I do remember him saying that too. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, someone brought up, you think, trading Estime?
He has no value.
I don't know if we can trade him, man.
There's no way. There's no way a team's giving anything, to be honest. Like the only guys that I feel like are tradable, like you could genuinely get traded and I could see the Broncos, like PJ Locke, there could be a team maybe flip a 7th. I hope to God this guy doesn't get traded, but like Jaquan McMillan.
No, dude, we can't. We can't.
I think absolutely no. But like I could see teams having interest in those. I think the Broncos are gonna maybe use that 7th that they got or another pick, a 7th round this year. I think they're gonna make a move to try to get somebody potentially. Or they're gonna sign one of the guys that end up getting waived. It's like I think the only positions that make sense would be depth interior O-line or a depth tight end.
Oh man,
is there a tight end out there?
That would be amazing if we can get a Respect My Co's brought this up. How about Jeremy Rucker?
Yeah, Jeremy Rucker's a good one.
Ty Conklin. I mean, depending on how they feel about Gadsden.
Is Ty Conklin with the Chargers?
He's with the Chargers, yeah.
That'd be fun in interdivisional trade.
Well, another one was Michael Mayer from the Raiders. I know they were looking at. He was apparently on the trade block last year, but this is a different regime, so they might keep him.
Ooh, Gage Madrid brought up Brian Robinson. He's on the trade block.
Yeah, but does running back make sense?
I don't think so. I've never been a B-Rob guy, and I don't know. I
think he's good, but like now it's like our running back room's already kind of crowded. We can't figure it out. It's like now JK, RJ, Brian Robinson, they love Bidet. Like, I don't know. I mean, it could happen. I just feel like tight end would make a lot of sense.
Oh man,
tight end or linebacker for sure.
Because after with the Atkins injury, with Lohner looking like he's still learning how to play football. Prescorns look cool, but whatever. Kroll, you know what you get with Kroll. It's like having a really solid blocking hybrid type of tight end would make a lot of sense. But
maybe
you also
Luke Musgrave from the Packers. Could that be a name?
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I always look at the teams that drafted tight ends, right? Like the Jets, they got no, they didn't draft the tight end. The Colts drafted Tyler Warren, right? It was the Colts?
Yeah.
The Bears, they're not going to give up Cole Kmet though, because they got a pretty. But like those kinds of teams, right? Where did Arroyo go? You got to look at the teams there. You got to look at all the guys that we wanted in the draft. The teams that took them, did they have any kind of veteran that's maybe expensive that they can get some cap relief from and be able to go that route? So this makes it fun, man. There's going to be a lot of domino effects from this, I think.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, it's hard for me to see us trading another player on the roster, but it would be nice to bring somebody else in at some of these positions where we could use some help. I also love the fact that the Broncos said today, man, they're not bringing in a punter. They're a long ways away from doing that. So let's go, Jeremy. Just crush it this week in New Orleans. I'll have no
He's going to
worries.
be fine.
Yeah, man. I like it. My dream trade would be Caden Ellis. Ooh, that would be fun. We could use another. He's an inside linebacker, right?
Yeah, Atlanta.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, guys, any other thoughts? I need to go cook dinner soon. So, guys, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed to Marquee Sports, as well as Kodiak Broncos, you removed podcast out of your name.
I did. I'm not a podcast. I'm a content creator. So I'm just like, it doesn't make sense for me to have podcast in my name.
He legally changed his name. His last name is actually Podcast.
Yeah. So now my first name is just Kodiak. My middle name is Broncos, in case you guys were curious.
It's cool. It's cool. Yeah, guys, please go subscribe over there. And I think I'm only a few subscribers away from 2,900. Again, guys, we're on our way to 3K.
Yeah, we got to get you 3K before the Titans, bro.
And Kodiak, I mean, what, you're 30 away from 1,000?
I think around 40 at this point. So,
Well, Hydra Ammo, let me tell you something. If Vele puts up 800 plus yards and Troy Franklin drops more go balls, I'm going to jump off something. Well, let me tell you, Kodiak, how many yards is Troy Franklin going for this year?
1,100. I said that back in February, and I'm going to let my nuts hang with that all year long.
Let him hang.
I love it so much. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. And for any viewers watching, we get together every Monday night for Horsepower Hour at usually 8 Mountain. And we're also joined by Jeremy. So it's us four having the funnest time in Broncos country. We'll be back again soon. I have, get this, a Jordan Turner film review dropping tomorrow. You guys aren't going to want to miss that.
I love that.
Yeah.
He's the reason JB Brown, I think, was waived today. He looked good, man. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah. So that's going to be fun. And until next time, guys, go Broncos.
Go Broncos, baby. See you guys.
Broncos.